All right, so this is a review of Unit 4 Honors Quiz. This is number 1. We have a triangle that gets translated and then reflected across the y-axis, the x-axis, because the x changes and the y stays the same. So it's going to be reflected across the x-axis. So here we go. You could use patty paper to do this and figure it out. But I recommend that you use the table method and compare the points, shift the points around because you don't know if you're going to have patty paper uh, for the test, for the big test at the end of the year. So pull a pencil up here, make sure it's fat, get my coordinates named and pulled out, make them in my column, WBH. Pull out my X values, 6 and 6 for W and H, and then 4 for B. 6 and 4. Okay, my Y values are W is 6, B is 4, no, yeah, B is 4, and H is 2. So those are my values for X and Y. Then I'm going to apply my first transformation. My first transformation is going to be X is going to be minus 6, correction 7, and Y is going to be minus 3. So my new X and my new Y will be determined as such. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. And 6 minus 7 is negative 1. My new Y coordinates are going to be 6 minus 3 is negative 3. That's not right. 6 minus 3 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So those are my 3 points that I'm going to plot and go with. Nope, not going to plot and go with those. I don't have to plot and go with those because that's not my final transformation. It's my intermediate transformation. But I am going to use these numbers for these comparisons, negative x and y, these columns as compared to my new x and y coordinates. All right, so I'm going to pull the opposite values of my x coordinates for my new x coordinates. So this is going to be the opposite of my x values. So I'm just going to turn these positive for here. So it's going to be 1, 3, and 1. Over here, there's no negative sign, so it's just transposing my y's. So it's going to be 3, 1, and negative 1. So I'm going to plot those points. 1 and 3 is W double prime. B is going to be 3 and 1. 3 and 1 is B double prime. Double prime. And then H is a 1 and negative 1. And that is H double prime. Run them all together. And what do we have? Well, that was triangle. That was option Y, triangle Y. So that ended up being D. Triangle Y was the option D. Oh yeah, that was D. That was D. So anyway, okay, so that was the first one. Second one, let's see, what's the second one? We had this one here. We had people vacationing. This is the lake question. We had people vacationing, and she drew a mountain on the coordinate grid, and she made the x-axis the line of reflection, and she used these coordinates. So what was the summit? So what was the coordinates? Okay, so you didn't need to read this into this too much, right? So all you really need to know was it was the x-axis was the line of reflection. So that means it was x comma y. It was going to be like this, and then the x-axis was the line of reflection, so that's going to be x comma y. X is the line of reflection, so what's that? That is now your algebraic expression. So plug that into it. You go -6 comma 8 into that. That means your x values, your x and y values stayed the same. Right, so it's -6 is the new coordinate is the same, but your y values changed in flop signs, so that is now your new coordinate pair. So that was the answer, -6 comma -6. So bingo bango, pretty simple. Okay, we have let's see, this was triangle. Identify the transformation. Identify the transformation. Okay, here we go. So triangle ABD transformed into A prime B prime D prime. Identify this transformation. You could use some patty paper, but I again recommend you just pick a point and then do point analysis. So any point that doesn't share the same x and y absolute value. So A would have been fine. So A is 2, -8. 2, and this is A. A prime is 8, comma, -2. So did the y's change? Did the x's and the y's flop? No. The x's are the x's and the y's are the y's. So the x value was pulled from the x value, but it is negative. I mean, the x is the opposite x value, and the y is the opposite y value. So this is x comma -x comma -y. And that is, my friends, an algebraic expression, x comma y. That is the relationship. If you do your algebraic expression, that's a 180-degree rotation. Well, was that one of the options? If you looked, that was one of the options, and that was indeed the answer. So there you go. That was the answer for the third one. Down to the fourth one. Question. But okay, so here we go. This was the question. All right, this is the line segment shown, and this is the prime is the image after the reflection across y equals x. What are the coordinates? All right, so y equals x, you have to know what that line means, right? Well, do you really don't need to know what y equals x. You just need to know what the algebraic expression is. But y equals x for every one change, I can use this. For every one change in y, there's a change in x. So 1 went up, x goes up positive, y goes up positive, x goes up positive, y goes up positive. That means a line is like that. It is like, that was a bad line. The line is like this, 1 for 1 change. That is that change. So it's gonna reflect it this way. The line y is, if the line is y negative x, right? If it's at 1 for -1, it's the opposite. And it goes down this way. Goes down that way. That's not the thing here. We'll talk about that one later. Right. But you just need to know that the expression for that is x comma y. Let's use yellow. X comma y, and it's going to be equal to y comma x. If it was the negative one, you just put negative signs in front of that because the signs shift. So you know a is -2 or -3, comma 1. You know b is -1, comma 4. So you apply this algebraic expression to it, y comma x. All right. You apply that to it. You apply y comma x to it. You just flop them. 2xy. It's gotta be, you just flop them. Right? Your y, your x value is drawn from your y. 1, 4. Your y value is drawn from your x. -3 and 1. So my new a value is 1 comma -3 comma -3. My new b value is, oh, this is supposed to be -1. My new b value is, my new r value, let's be, my new b value is -1, or isn't it 4, and -1. Goes like this. Oop, set it straight. All right, so you see if that's one of the 2 points there, and lo and behold, it is a prime is that, b prime is that. All right, I'm gonna take a short break, but I'm gonna eat, and then I will be back with you soon. I wonder if I can pause this, pause recording, and I'll pause it. I'll be right back. And we're back. So the next one is we have a triangle that is translated by right and then up to CDE with the algebraic expression, right? Well, how many does it go up? Well, you can count it. You can go 1, right, that's not it. You can go, it's 5, 1, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to D. Yep. And then that's right. That's definitely 5 units right. And then how many up is it? You can go 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's 3 up. Or you can be like, okay, this is -1. -1. That's where my x value is, and my final x value is 2. And you can be like, okay, well, -1, the difference between 2 and -1 is 3. Right, so because it's my final, my delta y is going to be equal to my final y, my y final minus my y initial, right? I just picked D, right? So my y final was, my final y was D prime, which is 2. And then my D final, my D initial was -1. So minus -1. So negative plus a negative is positive. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. So my delta y is 3. So delta y equals plus 3. 5 units right. To the right is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way is plus. This way is negative. So, this is my delta x plus 5. So my algebraic expression is x comma y from x plus 5 comma y plus 3. And that is the answer to that one. Okay. Let's see what the next one is. I lost my space in it. Was that even on that question? That one? That was that one. Did I skip one? Skip one? Yeah. Maybe I skipped a lot. That might not even been on that, on yours. Oh, that's the wrong quiz. Okay. I need to be on this quiz. Sorry, I lost my place during the dinner. Need to be on. There it is. Did I do this one? I don't think I did this one right. Yeah, I skipped this one. Okay. I accidentally skipped this one here. All right, this is number 2. Maybe I was doing the wrong one for you guys. Did that one for you guys. Maybe I was doing the wrong one for you all along. This is the yeah, I think I was doing the wrong one for you guys all along. This is the regulars quiz. Okay. Pause it for a second so I can figure this out. Okay, I figured it out. This is the regulars one. I thought it was on the honors one, but no, this is the regulars one. All right, so we have a quadrilateral. This is the original, and then this is the final. Shown on the grid, and it's asking what's the algebraic description. I was looking at the wrong screen. This is the original, and this is the final. I hope I'm even like sharing the right one. Yeah, I'm sharing the right one. All right, so this is the original, and this is the final. From the grid. And it's asking what is the algebraic description. I didn't even copy that over. Which algebraic description changes the formation? There's 2 ways to do this. You can coordinate count and go my change in x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My delta x is one left, so it's -5. My delta y is 1, 2, 3 is delta x. Delta y equals -3. That's one way you can do it. And then so you can say that my x comma y is drawn from x -5 comma y -3. That's one way to do it. Or you can be like, all right, my d, again, I'll go my d and my d prime. I'm gonna pull it off of these. D prime. Okay, so my D coordinate was 4 and 4. 4, comma 4. That's my before, my after. So, and then so it's my final. Actually, I told you this. My final D prime. I need to have my final minus my initial D prime. I'm gonna delete this one. All right, it's my delta, because delta equals final minus initial equals delta. Right. So my delta equals, this is my initial, this is my final. So let's pick delta. So then my delta final is -1. -1, comma 1, 1, comma 1. All right. That is a comma, 1. Okay, so I gotta do the subtractions here. So 1 minus 4 is -3. That's my y coordinate. Check, check. And then -1 minus 4 is -5. That checks. Either one of those would have worked. So you would have fed this into here if you didn't already coordinate count. So that's how that one works. So you go down and you would look, and lo and behold, it was the first answer get you on your. Right. So here we go. Last one for the last one for here is I got this triangle with these points. I even told you the points on here. You had to pull them off the coordinate plane. And then it tells you that it was shifted 6 left and 3 down, then rotated. It wanted you to figure out what double prime was. So the best way to do that, I believe, is to do the table method. T, Y, G. You don't even have to worry about transposing them wrong. They gave them to you. 3, 8, and 4. That'll be 8 and 4, and 3 and -1. Okay, so my first red is going to be 6 units left. Left is negative. Right, so left is going to be -6, -6, and then down is also negative. So -3. -3 for my y's. So that's going to be my new x's, my new y's. Okay, so 1 minus 6 is -5. I'm only pulling off my y coordinates. -5. 8 minus 6 is -2. 3 minus 6 is -3. 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. -3 minus -1 minus 3 is -2. My first translation. I'm going to go to blue now. Blue coordinates in terms of my x coordinates. Right, so this is a rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. So remember, when they're just 90 degrees, the x's and the y's are going to flop. And when it's counterclockwise, the y changes state. the y changes. I'm gonna have to do x, y. Pull those off of here, right? So my x is going to be my old y's, but opposite. So 5, 2, and 3. And then my exit, my y's are going to be my old. I messed that up. That was wrong. My x's are going to be my old y's, but negative. Negative 0 is still 0. Negative 0 is still 0. Negative 1 is negative, or negative of 1 is negative 1. The opposite of negative 2 is 2. Okay. And then we got, now it's going to be the new y's or the old x's. So it's going to be negative 5, negative 2, and negative 3. And this is going to be my t double prime, y double prime, and my g double prime. And let's pull those down from the drop downs. So I drop down A. Right here. So my drop down A was t double prime, and that was 0, 0, 5, negative 5, right there, right there. B was drop down B was y double prime, y double prime is, what did I make a mistake? Oh, look at that. I changed the negative when I shouldn't have changed. I made that mistake, right? Which one should have changed? The y changed. Was supposed to change. Put the 2. Well, there's a mistake in there somewhere. I gotta go back and look at that. Maybe you can tell me where I made my mistake. Let's see, 6, e minus, oh, that's because a minus 6 is not negative 2, it's just regular 2. I don't know why I made that mistake. So that would mean that this wrong. That should just be regular 2. That's where I made that mistake. So be careful with your math. So it would have been that one. So I would have messed that one. I would have had to go back and figure that out because that wasn't one of the answers. So I had to go back and figure that mistake out. And then the last one is 4, 3. Man, that wasn't a 2, 3 wasn't even like an option. So I don't want to figure. I have to go back and figure out where I made my. It's probably a math error again. All right, so it's 3, 6 minus 3. Did I transcribe my numbers wrong? Oh, did I transcribe my numbers wrong? Take a look here. Numbers. 8. 3, negative 1. So that's right for my g value. Okay, so then if I go 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Yeah, I transcribed that wrong. That should be negative 4. That should be negative 4. I would have made this. That would have made this negative. That would have been, nope, no, that would have been that positive 4. That made that positive 4. So there's my mistake from going fast. So that would have been my correct answer after I would recognize that that wasn't an option. And that I would have been back and fixed it. So there you go. Everyone makes mistakes, and I learned from my mistake that I need to slow down and check my simple math. Simple math. All right. Hope you learned from that. Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to learn from yours.